What's up, everybody? Happy summer to you from North Carolina. Pretty hot here today, but I'm not going to complain. Got a breeze blowing, getting ready to have one of those blow up thunderstorms. And hey, for you blue collar workers out there getting it done every day, man, thank you so much. I know you're working on the roof, working on the asphalt equipment, or you might be in the military and in some sandbox somewhere. Man, my hat's off to you. I appreciate you and all you do. I know it's hot, so I'm not going to complain about being hot, okay? But hey, today I want to talk about biscuits and gravy. Stick around and I'll show you what we made. All right, let's get to talking about these ingredients. First one, the biggest one I guess, is 2.5 cups of almond flour. Of course, you want that ultra fine and blanched. We've got 2 eggs. We've got 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, 1/4 cup of cheddar cheese, 1/4 cup of almond milk, and it calls for 3 tablespoons of butter. And I'm going to show you a trick with this butter right quick. So the first thing to tell you about some butter here is this is in a stick, what we call a stick of butter, but they conveniently put on measurements at the front of it if you pay attention. I know a lot of you probably haven't ever noticed that before, but it's there, so you can measure out your 3 tablespoons there real quick and easy. And we're going to show you another trick now. Stick around. So I just pulled this out of the freezer, and it's good and hard, and I want to show you a little secret here. All you got to do is peel it open. Anytime something calls for chopped butter, now what I'm going to do is mark. I'm going to mark the stick here for 3 tablespoons. But yeah, whenever something calls for chopped butter, I found this to be easy. I'm just putting a little score on that. I'm not really going to cut it up. That way I still have something to hold on to back here. But I'm going to peel back the wrapper. Now, this is still pretty firm for being in the freezer. And I'm just going to take an old cheese grater that I used a while ago and grate the butter up. And it's chopped. How about that for a little pro tip? I don't know if it's pro or not, but it's a tip I learned somewhere along the way, so I'm going right up to the score mark. And I know that that is exactly 3 tablespoons of chopped butter. Let's move on. Okay, now we're just going to add all the dry ingredients to this bowl and our butter. So we're going to put in our baking powder, baking soda, our salt, and then we're going to add our butter. Just like that right there. Want it all. Gotta get it all. We've added all that in there. Now we're going to mix that up with a fork until it gets to be like a crumbly consistency. Just pressing it in like this here. Nothing hard about it. Man, I tell you, my mama was the expert biscuit maker in our house. She made the best homemade biscuits, and I loved them until I started doing keto, and then those went by the wayside. The other week I had some carnivore grits, and I thought, well, you know, I need to try some biscuits, and I'm also going to make some gravy, sausage gravy, to go over these biscuits. So stick around and you'll see how that goes. All right, I got that in there. It's all crumbly. Now we're going to add the rest of the ingredients and mix it up. Now that is almond milk, unsweetened. Those are chicken eggs. And we're going to throw our cheese in there too. I guess you really don't have to specify when something's a chicken egg. Just when it's not a chicken egg, right? All right, now we're just going to give this a good little stir. Well, that looks well incorporated. Now let me go get a pan. All right, the recipe says it yields 12 biscuits. I don't know what size to make them. It says about 1/4 cup a piece, so I'm just going to scoop out what I think's a quarter of a cup. You know, when I grew up, we had these things called cat head biscuits. They were huge. And but I'm gonna come back and try to shape those a little better. I'm probably gonna go heavy on mine, so do yours like you want to do yours. As big as you want them, small as you want them. I'm going to pretty much double the size of mine just because I'm hungry and don't feel like pressing out 12 of them. How's that? Alright. Now I'm going to make them into something hopefully that looks like a biscuit. One thing my mama said when she made hers is don't mess with them too much. But that was a traditional biscuit for sure. She wouldn't fuss over them a whole lot, but I do at least want these to kind of look like a biscuit, so let's go that route. Well, that looks like biscuits to me. I don't know if it looks like it to you, but I'm gonna go put these in a preheated oven at 350 degrees and we'll move on to our sausage gravy. Oh yeah, that sounds good. All right, moving on to the gravy. I've got a pound of ground sausage. Here's some Nices that I like a lot. And then we've got a cup of heavy cream. We've got a half a cup of chicken broth. We've got 2 tablespoons of cream cheese. We've got salt, pepper, and a half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. This is only the second time I've ever used xanthan gum, and you salt and pepper to taste. I've got about a quarter of a teaspoon of both in there. So I'm gonna go brown this up and then we're gonna get working on this gravy. Let's go to the kitchen. Samson, are you ready to try out some sausage? Oh yeah. We got it cooking. It'll be ready in a little bit. Hang in there. So we've got the sausage in here browning up. And just want to take a minute while this is browning to tell you how much I appreciate you watching today. And for those that have subscribed, I appreciate that. Basically all I'm doing is living out my keto journey on YouTube. And I'm just sharing recipes and my life experiences and my goofiness with everybody that wants to watch. But if you're interested in the keto, low carb lifestyle, let me encourage you to go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe and stick around and see what happens next. And yeah, thanks again guys. I appreciate you. This is browning up nice, so we'll get it going here and move on. Alright, now the instructions say to add in the wet ingredients. So we're going to pour in the heavy cream. And we're going to put in the chicken broth. And we're going to put in the cream cheese. And it says to let that simmer up until the cream cheese is melted, and then we'll add the rest of the stuff. Stirring it up. I gotta say, I've got high hopes for today's breakfast because, man, my mama set that bar real high, so I'm not even expecting this to be close to mama's, but I do hope it's good. And we'll discover it together here in just a few minutes to see what I think about it and see if it's worth making again. Because guess what, if it's not good the first time, I'm not making it the second time. Alright, our cream cheese is melted. Now we just, well, and there goes my biscuits too, so we'll pull those out and butter the tops. But before I do that, I'm just going to throw in these dry ingredients real quick. And give it a quick stir. And it says to turn down the heat a little bit and just let that simmer, so that's pretty good timing. Now let me pull out my biscuits and put a little butter on top of those. Butter makes biscuits good. So there's the biscuits. Got some butter on them. I can tell already that since I made them so big, I'm gonna have to put them in for a little extra time. So I'm gonna double the time on the recipe. It called for about 10 to 12 minutes. I'm gonna go up to about 20. So All right, here we have our biscuits and gravy. I have to say the texture looks right, the biscuits look right. I can't wait to dig in. Oh heck yeah, let's go for it. Taste test time, my favorite time. And I'm hungry, man. I started this a little bit earlier, but just now getting around to eat. So first things first, is this biscuit worth eating? It looks a little different than Mama's for sure, but let's try it out just to see. That will do for a biscuit. No, it's not Mama's, but it is good. I like the taste of it. Texture of it's pretty good, and I'm sure whenever I try it with the gravy on it, it's going to be outstanding. I don't know how good this was sliced in half to like make a sausage biscuit or something, but it probably would. So another experiment for another day. So now let's try the gravy. Biscuits and gravy. I hadn't had this in a while, so I hope it's good. So let's try it out. Like I said, most of the time whenever I'm taste testing stuff, I've not tried it before ever. So matter of fact, the first time I make a recipe, I'm sharing it with you guys because I'm thinking, well, if I can't do it in the first try or 2 tries, probably not worth trying, but it's all about simple and easy. Let's try this out. I'm hungry. Oh wow, man. Now that gravy is over the top. I've missed gravy a lot, and that one hits home pretty good. I'm telling you, that's hard to believe that's low carb gravy. I mean, that's kind of like milk gravy I grew up with. So I give the gravy a 10, and I give the biscuits probably a 8. We'll go with 8, maybe 7.5, but I'm comparing it to my Mama's, so this is a 0 compared to Mama's. Hey, it's definitely worth trying. Everybody's got different tastes, but I'm going to make a meal out of this right now, so time to eat.
There's you a piece of sausage, buddy. I appreciate your help today. Appreciate you being my taste tester and all that good stuff. Was it good? Oh, yeah, it was good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Man, those biscuits and gravy turned out so good. I was really kind of surprised. I had another biscuit recipe that I tried probably a year or so ago and I lost it. But this biscuit recipe worked out really well. The gravy was outstanding. I can't complain about the gravy at all, or the biscuits as far as that goes. I took the biscuits and sliced them in half and put some sausage in them and took them to work. Had sausage biscuits, they worked out really good. So hey, give it a try. Tell me what you think in the comments. Until the next time, may the Lord bless you and eat you some biscuits and gravy.